Vlogmas.
Jeez. So I worked this morning. I left for work at 10 after 7. So I was in no shape to be filming myself. I work at a coffee shop, so I open. So I was there early. My dad came and watched this one. She's normally in daycare, but she was home today. And I got home and she had a fever, a very high fever.
I didn't have a fever. I feel better.
So got her Tylenol, got her settled. My dad left, and we've just been reading some Christmas books. But I think it's time to open our advent calendar. Do you want to open your advent calendar too?
Uh-huh.
Sir? What are you doing, sir? All right. All right, so number 2. Let's see. Estee Lauder Advanced Night Repair Synchronized Multi-Recovery Complex. This is another night cream. So awesome. I love moisturizers, especially this time of year. So awesome. We're trying to leave to go pick up my son. I have a very, very grumpy little girl who's not feeling well. So I'm trying to have all the grace and patience and empathy for her, but we need to go. So we just picked up Bug from school, and what did you say we need?
Hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate, and we are out. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna get a hot chocolate from Tim Hortons. Okay? Does that sound like a plan? Yeah, do you wanna go get one? Okay, more coughing. Hi, can I just get a large hot chocolate, please?
Sure, is that everything?
Yes.
Alright.
Thank you. All right, we are back home, and I ended up getting a large hot chocolate because I figure we'll just split it. So we got that, got the kids' mugs, and then I water it down with milk. A, because they're so hot, and B, they're way too sweet. Toddlers. So I know that was not her fault. We talked about that it was an accident, but we also talked about that mommy is allowed to feel frustrated because now I have to wash the entire dining room floor, and that was not on my agenda today. So, and it's a waste. So we talked about that she won't be getting more hot chocolate because if you spill, there's no more. And I had to give her a bath. She spilled it all over herself, so I had to give her a bath. I had to wash the floor. And it's just, I was gonna be real with you guys. There were tears from both her and me. It's been a year. Even the last couple months have been difficult. I've had a lot thrown at me. I've had a lot of disappointments. I've had a lot of trials. And you know when you just feel like you're being tested? Like, why is everything so hard? Why does everything have to have like this big, negative thing attached to it? And I've been feeling really like I'm being tested. So I'm channeling that, and I'm thinking, okay, you know what? The floor needed to be washed anyway. Now it's washed and clean. And, she needed a bath anyway. So now that's out of the way, and I don't have to do that later tonight. But it's just in the moment, it just feels like chaos, and I got really overwhelmed, but we talked about it. She's okay. I'm okay now. The floor's clean. It's drying. Let's move on. I should also mention this is not the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 10th time she's done this in the last month. She fools around. She puts her cup way too close to the edge of the table. We've talked about you need to push your cup back. Like, she's old enough that she doesn't need a sippy cup, and she doesn't. She just needs to follow the rules of the table and push your cup back, and she doesn't, and she's gawking around and not paying attention. So that's a consequence, a natural consequence for her to learn. Put your cup back and pay attention, or you don't you know, you lose out on something fun. So this is really terrible lighting, but that's okay. I'm just prepping a couple things for supper tonight. We're just having leftovers, so it's a really easy night, but just getting some like veggies. It was really interesting. I had my counseling appointment last night with my psychotherapist, and we were talking about the burden felt, especially around the holidays, and just that constant to-do list of, okay, we got to get our holiday cards out. Who have we shopped for? We need to get this. We need to buy this. I need to make sure I call this person. The kids need haircuts. Have I RSVP'd to this? What am I bringing to this? I need to make sure I have cookies for that. Like, just the list just triples during the holidays, and the burden and the, you know, the guilt for, you know, taking a break or sitting down. And it's funny because I have a hard time with that. I was, you know, thinking today when I got home from work, you know, I sat down with my daughter because she wasn't feeling well. So I sat down with her and just kind of sat and rested. She wanted to watch Paw Patrol, so we did that. We read lots of Christmas books and just kind of took that time and sat. As I'm on my feet all morning at work anyway, so for me it was like a bit of a break, even though there's a giant pile of laundry that has been sitting in my living room for probably a week. I've just been like living out of a laundry basket. And I was saying to my therapist last night, like, that's a constant, when I look at that, it's a constant reminder of where I failed. And I struggle with that because I know that my husband looks at that, and whether or not he, you know, thinks that that's a failure or sees it as annoying or that I'm not doing enough, which I don't think is the case. I don't think he thinks that at all, but that's where my brain goes. And it was really interesting, I was saying to her, because I saw this quote from Einstein, Albert Einstein, on Instagram yesterday, and it was, he wrote out on a board, you know, 1 times 9 is 9, 2 times 9 is 18, and went all the way up to 9 times 10 is 91. And the class said, whoa, that's wrong, you're wrong, that's not the right answer, you failed. And he said, well, you failed to congratulate me on all these other 9 problems that I did solve correctly. You chose to focus on that one negative that I messed up on. And it was like, you know what, that's right. I'm choosing to focus on the one negative or the couple negatives. And I do that all the time. I'm so bad for that. My husband will, you know, say, you know, one thing that I take as a negative comment, but he said 20 others in the last 2 days, but I focus on that one thing, right? Like, I think we all tend to do that. And I was saying to her, we live in a world where it's like, let's fix this, you know, you got a headache, take an Advil, that'll fix it. You know, your lips are too thin, get lip plumping, you know, your eyebrows are too thin, we'll microblade them, like all those types of things. It's a fix. We're constantly trying to fix ourselves. And so when we have one negative thing, it's like, oh, I got to fix that. I got to, you know, put my energy into that, when we're human. Like, it's okay to have flaws. That's what makes life interesting. But, you know, I am very hard on myself, and that's part of my journey, is learning to let go of things. I am a huge people pleaser, and I'm a recovering people pleaser, and I'm learning to accept myself for who I am and not take my worth, or, you know, that my worth doesn't come from other people's opinions of me, that my worth is from myself and what I believe my self-worth is. So it's been a very long journey and a journey I will continue on for the rest of my life, I'm sure. But I thought it was interesting, and it's been very interesting to kind of look back and see, yeah, you know, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it feels good. If you're struggling, I highly recommend getting a counselor or a therapist, someone to talk to kind of work through some of your thoughts and feelings, negative thoughts. And it's been huge for me. I've gotten so many great tools and tricks to help with my anxiety and, you know, that negative Nancy voice in your head that's constantly telling you you're not good enough and you're not worth enough and you're not worthy of love. And it's a journey, but I'm working really hard on it. So with that being said, I'm going to finish this prep, and then I am going to go fold that load of laundry. All right, so here's where I'm giving myself grace. This took me 20 minutes because I had to keep going in and breaking up children fighting even though they have the TV on, go figure. So we're just having leftovers, as I said. The kids aren't super fussy with the leftovers, so I figure they can kind of, I'll just make like a little charcuterie thing and we can pick over this over the next couple days. Anyway, like this is great lunch for my daughter and I tomorrow. But I've got leftover lentil shepherd's pie and a leftover shrimp stir fry and I think some other pasta or something in there. So lots of things to eat up, plus lots of things for the kids to snack on.